And we are back. So we have some great questions today. I'm really looking forward to going deeper into some of the mysteries that we've sort of scratched the surface on. But I do want to say I couldn't reach Bahar today, and I'm a little upset. I miss her, and I feel a little bit nervous doing this without her again. Although, I mean, she is very new to this whole thing, but she's very easy to get used to, put it that way. And let's just send her some positive energy and hope she's doing well, because I know that she's had some health, nothing major health wise, but like she has been a little under the weather. So maybe she just needed to rest a little bit. So let's send her some positive vibes and good energy. So before we start, so what we had to do this time then is I've been looking through the questions, because usually Bahar helps me with the questions. So she picks the question she likes, and then I approve, and then we go ahead. So this time I'm going with the stuff that sort of intrigued me personally. And yeah, look forward to that. But before we get into the question, before I do the channeling, I want to tell you some cool news. One is that I'm going to one of the oldest known temple sites in the world. And that is in my own ancestral land of modern day Turkey. But it would be, I mean, it's in the Kurdish people's land, but formally it's Turkish, and it's called Göbekli Tepe. So I'm going there in about 2 weeks now, and the purpose for that is to channel. So I've been looking forward to doing this for the longest time. There is so much mystery around this site. It is the oldest known temple. It's estimated to be at least 11,000 years old. Could be older, we don't know. I want to go there and I want to channel. What the buildings are saying, what the temples are saying, what the energy of the place is. I want to connect to the ancestors in a way. I want to see what is up there. There is quite a lot of there is a lot of theory around what could be the case with the place. Why did they need to hide it? There's also, in my culture, it's also said that it is a place where women go in order to pray for conception. They pray to get pregnant. So it's a place that's considered sacred in my culture. I'm going there with my mother, who speaks Kurdish, which is important because that would be I don't speak Kurdish myself, although I'm ethnically Kurdish, but that would be my link to the stories that have been passed down about this area. So it's a unique opportunity to get the stories of the local people, to see what they've been told from their ancestors, but also to really tap into the energy of the place and see what kind of stories it will tell us. So I would love your help in this effort by, if you could give me any kind of questions that you have about it. I'll also include a link in the description. I'll have a link in the description with information about it, where you can just get an idea of what it is, and a link to a document where you can put in all of your questions. So anybody could go in there and put questions there that I can channel, that I could work on once I get there. If you have been studying this more extensively, if you've been looking, I know that Graham Hancock did some research into it. So if you're familiar with that, that would be helpful too. If you could ask some questions based on that, or if you could ask some questions based on any kind of theory around it, because I haven't really looked into it that deeply, or I think I've heard stuff. I don't remember much. So I'm really going there just to get my own communication with the land and with the stories that have been passed down and stuff. So I look forward to that. I think that could be a great collective thing that we're doing, collective research that we're doing. I think is really fascinating, and I think it's really a unique opportunity that we have access to my mother, who understands the local language, because it is our ancestral land. I mean, that's where I'm from ethnically. So yeah, do check out the description box for the link. I would be really appreciative if you could help me with just questions in terms of like, what should I be channeling once I get there? What should I look for? What are the theories I should be examining? What do we need to know about the people? What do we need to know about the land? Anything like that. I think it will be a really unique opportunity to do that. Also, I have an offer, obviously. I have one every week. And so this week, I have an offer that is, well, what happened was, I now have more personal reading options. So we now have an option for a video chat. So for example, like we like have a face-to-face meeting like this, but it's only you and me. And so that option is new, to book in a time. We can like, yeah, have a face-to-face meeting. We also have a voice call option where we can like speak on Skype, no video. So you won't see if I have a good day or not, good hair day or not. Obviously every day is a good day, but not every day is a good hair day. And then obviously we have the recorded reading option. And so, which is, we already had that. I already had that before today. But so the offer for this week is that any personal reading, any personal guidance, any personal consultation is $100 off. And you will be able to see that in the description box as well. So it's, I do want to warn you that I am really like booked up. And so there is, I mean, although we might get lucky and be able to like schedule in quite soon, there, you know, you do keep in mind that it might be like an up to like a month from now as well. It could take like up to a month for us to find a good time where we can do this. But once we've, you know, once you've made the order, we'll find a time that works. But do keep in mind I am quite booked up as it is, and so yeah. But the discount should be a motivator, you know, if you want to at some point have a session. Okay, time for the channeling. You guys, I think even though I got used to Baha, it seems like I still got it. You know, I can still handle my own as well. That's good to know. So let's start. Okay, we have a lot of interesting questions, but I'm not going to read them to you because in case I don't have time to do all of them, I don't want anybody being disappointed. So let's start with, you remember the time traveler that we were told about in a previous channeling. So someone suggested we try to channel this person, or we try to talk to this person. So that's what we're going to start by doing. I think that was a fantastic question. Let's start with that one. Let's see if we can contact the time traveler who is supposedly in Russia, apparently. Let's see what we get on that. Okay, the first thing that comes up is that this person has been given a Russian name already. Or if they maybe had a Russian name, maybe they're from Russia, I don't know. But they're in Russia and they have a Russian name. The people that he's staying with know that he is a time traveler. I mean, he's been open with them. He has requested that they don't tell anybody about it. They're not convinced that he's telling the truth. I mean, they're convinced that he believes it, but they're not convinced that's the actual truth. So he's staying with an older man and someone else, like an older man and like somebody younger. Not getting any clarity on that, but it's an older man he's staying with, and it's rural, and I see there's animals. Okay, so what do we need to know about this guy? Okay, let me see if I can like speak to him intuitively and see if you can have a chat. Okay, yes, he's happy to talk. Oh, wow. He is very happy to talk. So, how do you feel about supposedly time traveling? What kind of experience was that? I was, it's not so wild to me. I was trained for it. This was quite normal and expected. For me, this is what we were working with. So I was mentally prepared for this for a long time. To me, this isn't, it's nothing weird to me. In fact, I can't relate to it being such a wild idea for you. Okay, so what are the main pros and what are the main cons about the time travel for you personally? The main pro is that I feel a sense of accomplishment, that what we worked towards, what we worked for, has succeeded. It's good to know that we managed to do this, that we achieved our purpose. We were just learning how to achieve this, or we were in a way experimenting and hoping that we got it right and hoping that there weren't any mistakes that we missed, and we succeeded, and that's very satisfying to me. I played a big part in making this happen. I wasn't just a passenger in a way. I was one of the scientists involved, and I played a major part in this. What are the cons about it? It is a little anticlimactic to succeed and not be able to celebrate with your coworkers. It is anticlimactic to succeed and not be able to tell them that you succeeded. But what about having arrived, and what about adapting to this new time, and what about like being relatable to people around you? What about those factors? I have to keep a bit of a low profile. I was quite used to having a secret life or identity even before the time travel. So I'm quite comfortable with the idea of hiding major aspects of who I am. I am, in a way, still working, so this is still work for me. Okay, but can you go back? Can you go back to where you came from? There is a possibility. However, I can't be certain that I will succeed in going back to exactly where I came from. I still haven't decided whether I can do more good by staying or whether I should be going back. There are a lot of risks involved with going back. And so I might be able to do more good by staying. Okay. Are there other people like you? There have been many, many attempts. As far as I know, I'm the only one that I'm aware of that has been successful. But of course, we can't know whether we have succeeded or not each time. And so there may be other successful attempts that I just don't know of. Oh God. What should we ask him? What should we ask him? Okay, let's just ask him to tell him. Okay, so tell us about yourself. I'm really happy to be here. I'm young, getting like between 25 and 35 years old. I had a girlfriend, but I think I've lost her now. He's laughing about this. She's probably still waiting for me. I enjoy playing chess. I lived quite a small life. I lived for my work. I had my girlfriend. My family's small. I had my simple pleasures. What motivated me was to succeed in my work rather than the exploration in itself. And so I want to be successful in what I do rather than explore for the sake of exploring. Okay, are you going to be going public about who you are? The only reason I would ever do that is if that would benefit the work. I don't see that benefiting more than it would harm the work itself. The more people are aware of this type of research, the harder it would be to keep conducting the research. In research like this, we need a great deal of leeway and a lot of margin for error, because out of 20 attempts, maybe only one might be successful. Generally, when it comes to experiments and in science in general, it seems like he's a scientist, we only go public with things once they have been successful. We don't reveal how long something has been worked on or how many failed attempts there has been. We only ever tell you about the successful attempt, and even that only when we have figured out how it was successful and why it was successful, and once we get to a level where we can consistently be successful in an attempt. That may be 30 years after trials have begun. In the case of time travel, it is not in the interest of the masses that this becomes public knowledge. If this becomes public knowledge, a lot of state secrets could be revealed. And so it could put security at risk. It could destabilize nations. Okay, what do you feel about the changes in terms of society? What do you think of how society has changed since you came? I am not really understanding the direction it has gone in. I struggle with understanding how we got from where we were to here. I have seen the timeline that connects where I started to where we are now. And so I can see and I can observe how we went from there to here, but I struggle with understanding how that happened. I did not experience a natural movement in this direction where I started in the 40s. And so to me, this is very different than what I would have imagined, where I thought we were heading. That makes me feel a little destabilized, because it means that I have less of a natural instinct for where we are headed than I thought. And I find a lot of things in the current culture very hard to relate to. It is very different from anything that I found comfort in. But I do gather some intelligence on specific things for the sake of measurement. I don't know if I should continue with this guy. He does have a lot of interesting things to say. Let's see. Okay, what do you want to say to us? Saying thank you for reaching out. I've been feeling really lonely, and it's nice to be able to connect with someone. I bet you guys have a lot of questions for him. Maybe we can continue with that another time, because I really don't know what to ask him, but he's really happy to talk to us and getting a scientist vibe. I think he's a scientist. Let's move on with the questions, because I think you probably have a lot better questions than I do on this. Okay, now here's a question that has been coming up a whole lot, and I think it's super fascinating. So it's about the Malaysia flight that disappeared. So you may have heard that. I think it was in 2014. There was a flight that just vanished. So people don't know what happened with that. Now, I Googled it, and apparently they have found some remains of the flight itself, not the people. So that's as far as Google says. So I don't know. Going to keep an open mind even to what Google says. But let's see what we get on that. What happened to the Malaysia flight that disappeared? So hard to describe, because I am seeing like they're above water. And I'm seeing a woman, and it's some kind of an accident, but I feel like it's gonna sound weird, but I'm getting the feeling of like a collision of some sort, but I'm not 100% that that's what what I'm seeing is. I'm not sure. Let me. Okay, so I'm seeing that the plane was there was something off with the plane. Something off with the so the plane became what's it called? Like this? There's a very like there's a woman I'm seeing. I don't know why she's important, but I'm seeing a woman. It's like everything is about this woman is very important. Okay, why is she important? Maybe she was the first to understand. Who is she? Who are you? Just getting her emotional reaction. I think she was the first one to understand. And I'm getting her emotional reaction. Getting very, just little, like piece by piece on this. Okay, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Oh, there was information on that plane. There was information on that plane. There were documents on that plane. There were documents. There were important documents. There was something that was signed or approved, something like a deal that was going to be, it was a positive one. I'm getting a really positive energy from this document. It was a very positive move in a good direction. This woman was involved in that. Was she maybe was she maybe someone who had power? I'm not sure. Let me see. There was something on that plane, perhaps even some of the people that were involved in something positive, some change of direction for Malaysia or some other country. I'm not sure what countries were involved in this. I mean, I know the flight was a Malaysian flight, but I know very little about this. But so there was something to do with like a positive direction for a country. I'm not sure that it was Malaysia, the country that this is about. There were documents on there that were going to be something regulating finances, like something to do with regulating something so that the economy would be more stable, there would be less corruption, and like it would be something that would benefit the people. Because there has been a lot of exploitation by foreign interests, by foreign powers. And so there was something that was signed or something that was going to be, put into place that would benefit the people, that would stabilize the economy, and it would remove a lot of corruption or exploitation. And okay, so was there foul play? Is that what's... Well, yes, I'm getting there was foul play, but I'm really not seeing from where or from who. Oh, okay, so there was a deal that was signed with, there was two parties, the people that wanted to get this change implemented, and then the people that would agree to implement this change. And those that agreed to implement this change were involved. I don't know who they are. I don't know what nation this is. But those were the people, is what I'm getting. Oh, wow. Okay. It's crazy when I get these things about like when nations are involved in corruption or lies, because the first time that happened, I was working as a psychic, and then a client called in and asked about, there was like a terror attack in Norway, not a Muslim one. It was like a white supremacist terrorist doing this terror attack. And when the client asked me about that and about like what's the truth behind this, and I saw something completely different than what was told in the news, and what I saw was that it was like the nation of Norway were involved in this, and that there were like political reasons why it had to look a certain way. And so after that, every time I saw the news, I mean, I don't watch the news anymore, but whenever I would see something about this, and I would tap into like the politicians involved, and like, do they know the truth, or do they know like, and I would get so much like, could just sense there were a lot of lying going on, like intentional lying going on. And in some countries in the world, this isn't like surprising. I know that, for example, Bulgaria is one of those countries where people have been fed so many lies that they can see through the bullshit. Turkey is another one of those countries where it's like people have been told so many lies, they can see through the bullshit. They know the tactics. But then in a country like Sweden, for example, where I live, people have such a high level of trust for authority that it would be inconceivable to most people that the authorities would lie or mislead or manipulate people. And I just think it's very interesting how what is shocking here would in Turkey be like nothing new, or in Bulgaria would be like, yeah, they know this is how politics work. Anyway, I'm just talking to myself. Okie doke. Let's see. Let's move on to the next one, because I'm trying to, I'm not trying to get stuck in those really, really conspiracy type things. I know it happens, but if you guys want to know more about it, we'll look into it. Okay. Let's see. Another very interesting one. Now, I think the sex questions are super juicy, so let's do another one of those. Also because it's really fascinating, because it's one of those things where I just think we are so dysfunctional when it comes to the sex. I think we're so dysfunctional as a society when it comes to that. We don't honor it. We don't cherish it. We don't, and I've been super influenced by how Spirit keeps talking about it's the lack of love in our society. It's the lack of love that translates into a very dysfunctional attitude to sex. So the sex questions I have this week is, what is sexual energy? Why are some people asexual? And why do some people have pain during sex? Okay, so what is sexual energy? Let me just drink some water too. Okay. What is sexual energy? Creative. It's the creative force. It is the creative force. It is our inner God. It's our inner God force. It is how we create. It is the same energy that creates. It is our power. It is our core. Is the best way I can describe it from what I'm seeing. But I'm sure there are many ways to describe this. There are many ways to describe this depending on what the angle is. Okay, why are some people asexual? It's a it is a need to not. It's a way to contain your energy and not connect or unite with another, because although you can feel emotionally intimate with somebody, the sexual act is where you are uniting energetically. You are, in the act, you are one. Energy-wise, you are one. And so it is a desire to contain your energy and not unite in terms of your energy. So it's a need for integrity in your energy. Okay, so who is that for? Like, what are the benefits of that? Oh, how's my hair? God damn, I'm so vain. That's okay. Okay, so who is that for? What is the benefit of asexuality? It's just a preference. Okay, so can they choose to do it differently? Can they choose to unite? They can, but they would feel a lack of power, lack of control. So it could, in a way, be connected to a unwillingness to give up control. An unwillingness to be vulnerable with another. That's what I'm getting at the core of it, is an unwillingness to be vulnerable, an unwillingness to give up control. Okay, is that because of some kind of trauma, or why is that? Yes, there are usually reasons for why somebody would develop this. So it's something that they can change, or they can overcome it under certain circumstances, but they really need to feel safe. They need to feel safe relinquishing control. They need to feel safe in allowing themselves to be vulnerable with somebody. They just need a lot more safety. So is it because of trauma or not? Not on a conscious level, it's usually not. Not that it could play a part, but not in the way that the person would experience it as, like they would consciously know that they've been traumatized. That's what I'm getting. So it's to do with lack of, they need more control, a lot more safety. So if you're dealing with this, or if you're not happy about dealing with it, usually people tend to be quite happy with that. They're not dissatisfied with it. But if you are, it can be changed, apparently. Okay, so why do some people have pain during physical intimacy? There's an emotional pain that they are overlooking. There's an emotional pain, and it's expressing itself in a physical way because they're not acknowledging the emotional pain. What can they do about that? It is like a warning bell about the emotional pain. What is the emotional pain regarding intimacy for you? What is the who hurt you? What happened and who hurt you? Those are the questions that you should be exploring if you're having physical pain. And don't deny the fact that this had an impact on you. It would be important for you to perhaps talk about whatever event happened with your current partner, so that you can sort of heal from what happened, is what I'm getting on that. I hope that was helpful. A similar theme is menopause. So I've been asked about menopause a couple of times. So what's the guidance on menopause, how to deal with menopause? Now, if you are too young to experience menopause, or if you are a male person and you think that, okay, this question isn't for me, there's always a reason for why you're seeing whatever you're seeing. There's a reason why this information might be useful to you, might be insightful to you. So I do urge you to listen to it, because even if it doesn't directly apply to you right now, there will be a message in there for you anyway. So let's see what we get. Menopause. Any guidance on menopause? Okay. So menopause is a shift in the role of the woman. And you are going from being a potential mother and having the responsibility to create life, to now living for yourself. And so it comes with a natural transition where you would be focused more on yourself, whereas you would hormonally or just naturally be more inclined before menopause to connect with others, do for others, and focus more on relationships. And after menopause, it is more about what you want. You are more independent. A lot of people would feel as if that is the time when they started to live for themselves. That is a natural thing. That is how nature intended it. Your focus goes from being for other people to being about yourself. So what's the guidance around that for people? Do not fight your nature. You will be naturally inclined to put yourself first. You will be less willing to compromise in relationships. You will be more content independently. Don't fight that. There's nothing wrong with that. Do expect to make some adjustments or changes in your life to better accommodate who you now are. If you have been very responsible to the people in your life, if a lot of people have depended on you and leaned on you for emotional support and comfort or for your help, that might have to change. You now keep more of your power for yourself, and you live more for yourself. So what can help with the challenges of menopause, the difficulties in terms of like hot flashes or stuff like that? The hot flashes are like I can't stand this anymore. It's a physical manifestation of I can't stand this anymore. I need fresh air. I need space. Leave me alone. I need space. Don't fight that. You need space. So take the space. Gets too hot when people are too close. What else then? Are there other things that might be helped? What else do they need to know? They won't be listening to this because at that point in their lives, they stop listening to other people and they listen to themselves. So, what you say should be none of their concern. They are done listening to other people. They have a mind of their own. They can follow their own advice. Thank you very much. That is awesome. That's very awesome. That's really interesting. I hope that was helpful. If you are going through menopause or have been going through menopause, and any of this resonated with how you felt or feel, let me know. I can't relate. I just know what I experienced just now, but there was definitely a sense of like you need space, you've had enough of dealing with other people, now you want to just live for yourself. I'm definitely getting that vibe super strong. Let me know if this applies to you. Let's see. Okay. Next question up is something that is very personal to me. It is about the healing properties of Hapei. So Hapei is, or it's spelled R-A-P-E with an accent. So Rapé or Hapei. It is indigenous medicine from the Amazon. So I first came across this in the shamanic healing ceremonies that I attend. It's had amazing effects on me. It's been super, super helpful. You may be able to see as well a change in how I am over like starting from like January until now. You may be able to see a distinct change. And so for me, Hapei and this shamanic medicine has been wonderful for me, and honestly I recommend it for everyone. I offer to anybody who is in my vicinity because it's helpful, and more people should know about it. So I want to channel the healing properties of it because it is quite new to me. I'm not that familiar with it. I just know it's a sacred medicine. It's made from organic tobacco, as well as roots and plants from the Amazon region. And I know that it has it's done with like a lot of intention and prayer, and it's so it has a lot of it's a very sacred medicine. And so I want to see what I get on that. I also want to say that there are different kinds. So there are different kinds that have different effects. I've had I do have some that I definitely prefer that work better for me, and then others that are better for situations that I'm not in at the moment. So there are some that are like extremely detoxifying, that are like amazing to take if you are struggling with like severe depression and anxiety. Those are super powerful. And then there are those that help with like just more fire, a more fire element, or balancing emotions or intuition. Or the effect on me has been that I also feel more authentic. I can connect more with my emotions. I can connect more with what I feel. And it takes away a lot of like negative thinking. It takes away a lot of anxiety. It just, you know, I can't praise it enough. I really can't praise it enough. I want to say also it's not hallucinogenic or anything. It's legal. It's sometimes used in conjunction with ayahuasca to help the process, but ayahuasca obviously is not something you could do anywhere, and it's not even legal in a lot of places. Hapei, however, is legal. And so I want to ask about that. Now that I mentioned it, I do want you guys to know about it, because I think the way that it has been, the way that it's been healing for me, I want people to at least know about it, at least see if it might work for them as well. So let's see, what are the healing properties of Hapei, or can we connect with the spirit of Hapei? Oh, it has a consciousness. It has a consciousness. Okay, so what about the different forms of Hapei? How do we know? What are the different forms of it? They will come to you when you need it. You won't have to pick one. The one that you need will come to you. It will be the first one that you see. It will be like the one that you need will be drawn to you. Okay, so is it something that will work for everybody? I mean, it's worked for me. Will this work for everybody? It will work as long as the person is open to healing and willing to heal. As long as they are willing to heal and not, unless they're actively blocking their healing, it will work. So, what does it do for us? It strengthens the connection to spirit. Our connection with our home becomes stronger. Our umbilical cord that holds us to our home in the spirit world is stronger, and so we feel more content here and more connected to our home. And we become more aware of our true feelings and our purpose and our heart. Our connection to spirit also makes us more able to deal with the challenges of this world, because we feel a sense of detachment from it. Knowing that our home is in the spirit world, we can be in this world but not of it. What about health issues? Does it help with health issues? Yes, the different kinds have specific health effects. And so this is where you might want to read up on what specific health effects you want and choose according to that. So in what way does it have consciousness? It has a will of its own, and it will call people to it. It will call you to it. It will invite you. And that is why it will always be used in integrity. It will call people. Who does it call? Those aligned with spirit. And so it will not call those that are not aligned with spirit, and so it cannot be misused. That is the intention that was set through the prayers. It will only be for those that are already aligned with spirit. And it will strengthen their connection to spirit. And it cannot be accessed by those that are not connected to spirit. The intention set by the shamans is very powerful. And so it is locked in to those whose intentions are genuinely directed towards connection to spirit. I have to jump in here because, as I mentioned before, I have been trying to show people I know, this is amazing, this has really helped me, try it. And it is so, now that they're saying that, I'm getting these memories of people that have said, I think this would really help you. And they have refused, and they have said it's crazy. They've said it's not for me. They've said, oh, I'd rather just have a glass of wine or whatever. And now it makes sense why. Now it makes sense why it's not for them. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. I think I'm content with that on that question. And another really funny one, this is my question, to be honest with you. I think I've discussed this with Bahar at some point. But I have discussed this with Bahar. One is that I used to feel that when I was a kid, I used to feel that my, kadito, my teddy bears and stuff, that they had my toys in general, that they had consciousness. And so I used to feel like they can sort of hear me when I talk. I could, they could hear, if we treat them bad, they will be upset and stuff like that. So that used to be super real to me. And I have this teddy bear that I sleep with, and I kind of feel like it has consciousness. So I just wanted to see if that's me projecting, if those are is that me projecting, or is that I want to see do toys have consciousness? That's my question. Let's see. I bet there's some other people out there who have been wondering. I can't be the only one. Apparently Bahar had that thing too, where she wondered where she felt like toys had consciousness. Let's see. Do toys have consciousness? Yes, some do. The ones that do are the ones that you extend your love to. When you extend your love to a toy in the desire to show affection and connect, that gives them consciousness. Right, but how does that give them consciousness? Do they have it? Is it dormant, or do we create, or is it a part of us that what happens there? What is that? When we look at them as conscious beings, they become conscious beings. You create their consciousness. It's as simple as that. If you don't create it, it's not there. But of course, everything has consciousness, everything is energy, everything is aware to some extent. However, the type of consciousness that you mean is what you create by deciding it's there or by feeling that it's there. You cannot get the satisfaction of enjoying the connection with a teddy bear if the teddy bear also doesn't have feelings and enjoys a hug too. And so you create this in the teddy bear. Okay, so does that mean we can like talk to the teddy bear and like, can we? You can. You choose the extent to which your toys have consciousness. You create it, and so you decide the extent of it. You can give it a personality. That's awesome. I hope that wasn't weird for you. Well, all of this is weird, so I'm just going to go for it. But that was cool for me to know. Just a little cute one at the end there. Okay, so those were the questions. Let me know what you think. And do please give me more questions. Also, the ancient temple of Göbekli Tepe that I'm going to be visiting, I want your inputs. I want your questions. I want your theories. I want anything you've got on that. There's a document linked in the description. There's an open document. You can add your questions that I will be using when I go there. It is a unique opportunity. We have access to the language. We can speak to the locals. I can hear about what are the stories that are passed down. What are the, supernatural stuff that has been going on over there. I can channel it. It is my ancestral land. This is a unique opportunity. Let's make the most of it. I'm going to be there in 2 weeks. Let's make the most of it. Give me all of your questions. I'm going to be super happy to report to you from there. I don't know how I'm going to do it because I won't be able to record in the same way, but I'll find a way to. We'll see. We'll see how we do it, but it's going to be done. So do help me with those questions. Also, we now have the option of booking a live video face-to-face chat consultation or a voice consultation where I may not have fixed my hair. You won't know because it's going to be a voice call. So you don't know if my hair is nice or not. However, if you choose the video option, you'll have access to all of this. And so we also have the recorded reading that's still available. And so with the recorded one, we don't have to schedule a time. I just do it whenever it's convenient for me. But with the voice and video call, we would have to book it. And so these options are all $100 off because it's new. It's a new I'm premiering this. So $100 off for any personal consultation. And thank you for today. I did this without Bahar, man. I still got it, but I'm going to check on her now. Hopefully she is good. Let's just send her a lot of love. Sure, there was a purpose for this either way. And thank you for sticking by us. Send some more questions and send some love to Bahar in the comments. I'm sure she's going to be super happy with that. Bye.